Hi. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Graham.
How are you doing? You all right?
Oh, all good. All good. Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Cheers.
I'm off the booze till I've done my talk.
Oh, right. No, I needed to keep you
Not
going.
taking any chances.
Still only my first tin now. I've nearly done it. I'm going to have to open another one during your talk, I think.
You've wisely sketched that out. You've wisely sketched it out.
Especially I've been in the toilet. Right, you're going to talk about, do you know what? I think this is so important, getting back connected. Kids going back to school, it's going to be so different for them, isn't it?
Well, Ed started off by highlighting a common thread or a common need, which will be connection.
Yeah.
And it's been present, the need for that and strategies to generate that in just about every talk. And I just I'm writing my notes as I go. And just from the last talk, you can't teach who you can't reach.
Yeah.
What a snappy tagline. I need that for my talk, really, because although I said there's 3 words, the whole principle behind what I do is reaching those kids for whom school has become a distant connection, a complete disconnection, and we're going to have an awful lot of kids who are going to feel like that for whatever reason. There's going to be a lot of kids.
Brilliant. Right, I'm going to disappear. You carry on, Mark. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Graham. Thanks for having me. And I first of all acknowledge Ed. I was just talking to Graham about Ed's introduction and the idea of connection, and how much of the talks, how much of the presentations this morning have been a central theme has been connection. My talk is connection. The previous talk mentioned had a great tagline: "You can't teach who you can't reach," and really that's my day job, is reaching kids for whom school has become a disconnect. They are disconnected from school. Big up alternative, big up special schools that do this day in and day out, and I work with several. I also work with students who are completely out of school, who have been permanently excluded. What I'm presenting today is 3 words. I'll come to that in a minute, but really 4 or 5 conversations that I regularly have with kids to get them connected to school. Now, sadly, we're going to have a lot of kids that are disconnected from school when we finally come back together as school communities. One other thing that what I'm going to talk about is more of a reminder. It's more of a prompt, because I think back to one of the earlier talks about CPD and about the whole principle of BrewEd, which is that really the teachers have the answers. In most cases, we don't have all the answers, and obviously we're willing to learn, and we want to learn, and we want to grow and get better and develop as teachers. But more often than not, teachers do have the answers. So I'm not presenting this as rocket science or a great big new idea. I'm just hoping that the 4 or 5 conversations, and certainly the 3 words, will just act more of a reminder and a prompt for teachers when we do have kids regularly in front of us again. My first one, I did a little resource. Okay. I know PowerPoints are frowned upon, so I've gone for PaperPoint. So the first conversation that I'd like to mention is meet them where they are. Recognise, think about what kind of teacher you would need if you were in their position, and be that teacher. They've been through a catastrophe, they've been through an emergency, they've been through trauma. A couple of wonderful pieces early on about growth out of trauma, and we can support that, and we can help that to happen. We can make that happen. We can help that to happen and make that happen as teachers if we turn up and meet them actually where they are. We're going to have to talk about the challenges and the difficulties and the emergency that they've been through, but we can talk about the universality of that. Everybody's experienced it. We can engage on an individual level, but this has been a universal experience, and we can talk to them about coping, about resilience, about overcoming, and about optimism and hope, and remind them that they are strong enough, remind them of the times that they've overcome, remind them of other people that have overcome traumas. Not unlike this, I'm a history teacher by trade, and this has happened before, and people have come through it. There will be trauma around loss, and a grieving process will be necessary, but we have to bring optimism and hope that something can be different. The second thing is in terms of what we present the children with in terms of learning. There's been some fantastic ideas in terms of teaching activities that we can present to kids to bring them back into learning, to reconnect them to their learning. I use the expression throw a wide circle. It might be doodling that is required. It will certainly be thinking skills. It will certainly be those teaching and learning activities that have probably got a broader definition of learning. We have got to bring them back into learning and reconnect their learning with them. And that will probably be in quite unusual ways. It will probably be in smaller chunks than we've done in the past, in order that we can help them to succeed again at some sort of formal learning and bring them over to where we are. Now, this is leading up to the three big words. I don't want to build this up into some sort of false anticipation or false excitement, but it's building up into the three big words, because what I talk a lot about kids that are out of school is about meaning and purpose, is helping them to find meaning and purpose in schools. And for a long time, schools have relied on exams being that meaning and purpose. But we're on tricky ground with that. And we need to make deeper connections. We need to make deeper connections with the students by talking explicitly about their meaning and purpose, and dare I say, passion. And what I should do a lot of my work is when I'm working with excluded kids, is to somehow connect the literacy, the numeracy, the curriculum as it is, to connect it with them by showing what's in it for them. How does the work I'm asking them to do connect with their meaning and purpose, whatever that meaning and purpose is? You have to find out what that meaning and purpose is. So the three big words I'm going to leave you with and ask you to remember is, I see you. As a teacher, I see you. As a young person in front of me, I see you. And I see what you've been through, but I also see what motivates, what interests, what your meaning, your purpose, dare I say your passion is. I really see you. And I see you more than just data on my planner and more than just an exam result. Now, the best teachers, I imagine if you've come to BrewEd, if you've been to any sort of BrewEd, you know that deep down there's a deeper philosophy around the meaning of education and the meaning of learning and connecting with young people. It won't come as a surprise, but we must remember that we've got to see the young people as they are and for what they are and what their meaning and purpose is. So a couple of things just to finish off with. See the best part. If you've in any way coped with the last 5 weeks, you've learned to see the best part. And I say this all the time, because working with this, when we start working with kids again, it's going to be messy. It's going to be all over the shop. The kids are going to come back and we're going to come back. But we have to take the wins each day, the small wins. So see the best part, build up those small successes, acknowledge those small successes, notice when things have gone well. Of course, you've got to deal with stuff that's not gone well, but if we're going to return the kids to school, we're going to reconnect the kids to school, then you have to see the best part. The final thing, I normally say this first, but I'm saying it last because I want it to be at the forefront in everybody's mind. We've got to look after ourselves. If we're going to do anything that I've talked about in the last 4 or 5 minutes, we've got to look after ourselves, and we've got to take care and self-care. And there's been some wonderful speakers, some wonderful ideas on here about our emotions, about our mental health, about our well-being, and it's even more so than ever. It's not an indulgence to take care of yourself. It's not an indulgence to doodle. It's not an indulgence to breathe. It's not an indulgence to meditate. It's not an indulgence to take out. We have to check ourselves and look after ourselves. If we do that for ourselves, we might have some chance of being the teachers that the kids need when they come back, and we might have some chance of seeing the kids for who and what they really are. Thanks ever so much for listening. This is the last bit of tea I'm going to have today. I'm cracking a can. Cheers, Graham.
Mark, thank you so much. Again, I've just been looking at the comments and things down the side. Everybody's agreeing with just what you're saying. It's so important. You know, it's going to be so hard for when we go back. It's just such a strange time. I was in school yesterday teaching key worker children. I had 7 children in, and even that felt really strange, you know, being in the classroom with just 7 kids, mixed age ranges. It's really, really bizarre, and it will be so strange when we do go back. Our focus isn't going to be on the ED, surely is. It's not going to be on, you know, literacy and numeracy. It's going to be on the PSHE. Do you think?
Well-being, isn't it? I mean, it's about them being in a position to in some way pick up with the learning we're going to ask them to do. I mean, just kind of looking outwards from this today, I just urge colleagues to join communities, online communities. I mean, this is an incredible thing that you've created, a really strong online community. I've joined a couple of others in order that there is a sense that we steer and we do this when we go back into school, but other teachers know that that's what's happening in other schools, and it gives people the confidence to go back and do what we know the kids and the staff will need when we go back. So join those communities, look out from your own school and your own world, and connect.
Brilliant. Thanks so much. As Ed's put there, look, blog on it, please. Do you blog?
I do, and I'm really careful not to promote, but yeah, there's something on Twitter. I've done a checklist on this, and I'm happy if anybody contacts me on Twitter. You can have a nice branded copy of this of a checklist I've done. I'm happy to send that to anybody. So just a little bit of equal parts promotion there. Thank you, Graham.
No, right. Thank you very much, and thank you for giving up your time, and enjoy your can now. Yeah.
Thank you, Graham. Thanks everybody for listening. Cheers.